You can't do it without regulation. Let's embrace regulation. Now, there are other voices within crypto that want to rage against the machine. That's not my voice. My voice is let's work with regulators. Let's make this a multi-trillion-dollar industry. Let's make this better for every person on earth and provide transparency to the regulator in the way it should be. What's wrong with that? Nothing. And my investment thesis, by the way, is that's coming and it's going to appreciate crypto assets dramatically.
Canadian businessman and Shark Tank celebrity Kevin O'Leary is all about getting the proper regulation for the cryptocurrency space. And it is for one sole aim, to get the industry to become a multi-trillion-dollar industry. The entrepreneur and businessman recently had an interview with Kitco News. He discussed the fantastic effects that well-thought-out and favorable regulations would have on the entire crypto space. From Bitcoin to stablecoins, O'Leary explains that regulations will do wonderful things for the crypto ecosystem. He adds that the majority of the world's wealth lies within reach of sovereign wealth funds, pension plans, and other big institutional investors that are now clamoring for the government to regulate and stabilize the crypto industry. Unlike some members of the crypto industry, O'Leary does not think that regulation will adversely affect the decentralized status of the crypto industry. He believes it will do the exact opposite and drive in big money investors. O'Leary talks about other important factors that will positively impact the crypto industry. Be sure to watch the video to the end, hit the like button, and subscribe. Enjoy the video.
One of the reasons that we know that politicians have been getting behind this is because it's a tremendous cash cow in terms of taxes. And we heard from Yellen today saying taxpayers should receive the same type of tax reporting on digital asset transactions that they receive for transactions in stocks and bonds so that they have the information they need to report their income to the IRS. You saying this is a good thing?
100%. And if I could be the industry spokesperson for just a moment, we agree, and we're going to do that. All the companies that I'm involved with in centralized and decentralized, like WonderFi, for example, which is under the Canadian order, we are already writing that code. We are going to be 100% compliant on tax reporting in every jurisdiction we're licensed in. I 100% agree with her. The industry wants to be compliant on that. Tax is, we understand we have to pay taxes, and we're all okay with that. Now, there may be some cowboy outlier that doesn't want to be controlled by a government. That's not me. That's not the industry. We want to be compliant so that we can have the opportunity to allow institutions to invest along beside us. That's going to provide the stability and the appreciation in value. The majority of the world's wealth is tied up in sovereign funds and pension plans. They vote with their investments. They want regulation. They want stability. They want transparency. They're willing to work as they have for hundreds of years on providing security to people that trust them to manage their money. And if there's innovation and technology available in financial services, it's coming through crypto. This is an augmentation to an existing system that has trillions of dollars in it. It's not a new system. It's a system that makes the existing system way better. That's the way you have to view it as an investor. And so all we want is to be compliant within the existing ways. We don't need to change everything overnight. That's not the way to think about Bitcoin or the entire crypto industry. It's to take the innovation that exists here and augment the existing system to make it better for people. And I'll give you an example. Stablecoins could change the entire FX industry and make it far more transparent, far cheaper, far faster. Solana blockchain could accelerate transactions 100x that are already, it takes you days to get your money moved from one bank account to another in a foreign country. How inefficient is that? It could be fixed overnight. You can't do it without regulation. Let's embrace regulation. Now, there are other voices within crypto that want to rage against the machine. That's not my voice. My voice is let's work with regulators. Let's make this a multi-trillion-dollar industry. Let's make this better for every person on earth and provide transparency to the regulator in the way it should be. What's wrong with that? Nothing. And my investment thesis, by the way, is that's coming and it's going to appreciate crypto assets dramatically. We've taken this as far as we can get without getting institutions involved.
O'Leary also talks about the impending crackdown on the Bitcoin mining sector by the SEC. The regulator recently announced that firms might soon be expected to submit to carbon audits in addition to financial audits. O'Leary explains that many Bitcoin mining companies are currently dependent on carbon offsets to even things out. To O'Leary, this will not be enough for the SEC. He adds that Bitcoin mining firms now have to switch to renewable energy sources.
The airline industry is never going to be carbon neutral, no matter how many carbon credits they buy, and everybody knows that. But until there's an alternative way to fly, we have to live with that. Bitcoin mining, on the other hand, there is an alternative way, and this is why institutional capital is going to go to the alternative way, and that involves nuclear power and hydropower globally. So, in northern Norway, in northern Quebec, in Montana, in North Dakota, in upstate New York, these are places where there is an abundance of hydropower, and much of it, in some cases, unused. So why don't you just take a turbine, connect it directly to a computer that can basically hash out Bitcoin, and start being awarded coins that are 100% ESG compliant. There's no need for a carbon audit. Then you're not in this debate with the SEC or the POTUS order or BlackRock because you've done it with excess hydro or nuclear power.
O'Leary believes Bitcoin mining centers that use renewable energy sources will impact the world positively. In his words, Bitcoin mining will save the world. He states further that these firms won't just be Bitcoin mining centers, but also data storage centers for towns, cities, and countries. That benefit, in addition to Bitcoin staying between $40,000 to $50,000, will make the venture profitable and sustainable.
When you build a Bitcoin mining facility, you're essentially building a data center. The new oil is data. Where do you store it all? Every country now, particularly after what we saw in the Ukraine, wants to store the nexus of their citizens' information in all sectors of their economy on their own soil. The demand for data centers that are built on an ESG mandate, in other words, hydro or nuclear, is huge in every country. If you're Brazil and you're licensing crypto exchanges, you want all that data in Brazil. Luckily, they have tons of hydropower. If you're in the state of Montana, they want data centers to supply data centers to all the industries there. So Bitcoin miners have the option to look at the economics of whatever the price of Bitcoin is and say, well, that's more attractive right now than providing data storage, or vice versa. So all of these new centers being built off hydro and nuclear are basically infrastructure. That's the way I look at them. So if it makes sense to mine Bitcoin, and I personally think anything over 50,000 or close to it.
So 50,000.
But we're sitting at 43 and change today. But when I look at the models that for the returns on what I'm investing in the Norway facility at BitZero, for example, I'm happy if Bitcoin stays at 50,000 for a couple of years. That's great returns for me. But it's forcing everybody to make better computing power and figuring out a way to use the center for other uses. In the case of the Norwegian village where that BitZero facility is, they're providing computing power for the local university. They're taking the heat off the stacks and growing tomatoes with a canning center beside it. The community is involved. This is the new way of data centers. So when we go get licensed in other states, we're just showing them the Norway model, saying, let's take those containers and take similar containers and put them on your facility and we'll abide by all the local regulations.
But if Bitcoin drops below 30,000, 25,000, does that start to concern you in that business model?
Of course, and that could happen, but I've built a state-of-the-art data center. I think I'm ready to lease it out to Microsoft or to Google or to Ford or to Tesla or to all of these companies that are storing data by the gigabyte every week.
We have come to the end of the video. Be sure to leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section below and hit the like button. Thanks for watching.